I'm Liselotte, and I'm coming from Switzerland, from the German part of Switzerland. For quite a few years, I was a co-director of the Eric Berne Institute in Zurich, and I used to teach TA, and now I have a few teaching commissions, let's say in Europe, Italy or France or so, and I like this internationality, and I have my counseling studio in my hometown.
What is counselling?
Well, counseling has different definitions. TA, for example, defines it as a professional work which enables clients to meet their daily challenges and which is made in a contractual setting. And I very much agree with this definition. So I think counseling is about enable people to overcome difficulties of their daily life, like problems in the partnership or challenges when somebody has lost a person, or just staying content or being at ease in daily life.
So how do you see the differences between counselling and psychotherapy?
Counseling is not a healing practice. Psychotherapy wants to heal. So counseling is just more about awareness and like we say in transactional analysis, autonomy, but autonomy in a healthy way, not from mental illness to autonomy, but a healthy person comes to counseling and wants more autonomy, wants more be able to make decisions, make choices in their daily life.
Okay. So it's about empowerment or building on their awareness.
Exactly.
Not so much for people that are really struggling.
They might be struggling, but they are basically healthy. So they have no diagnosed mental illness.
Yeah.
So
it's about building on their resources.
Yes.
They already have resources, and counselling is about building on those.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay. All right. Lovely. And what value does TA bring to counselling?
TA has very clear concepts, and these concepts are useful in two ways. One is the concepts are helpful for me to diagnose about my client, like for example a discount matrix where I can see where the client is in his problem solving or in his problem awareness of his problem. Other concepts are helpful to show the client himself or herself what she does and how she lives, give words to what she does or how she lives something in life.
Okay. And what models do you find particularly useful working in counselling?
For me, it is, for example, the functional ego states. Many people have a very strong the critical parent, and the critical parent not only against others but for themselves. So if they can, for example, see that there are two ways of dealing with oneself, one with the critical parent, which is mostly not enhancing qualities, and one with a nurturing parent, and I make imagine the person. Who is this critical parent, or how is it? Is it behind? Is it big? Is it small? And how is the nurturing parent? And so the client can see, oh, I remember now a client who said, my critical parent is like this really fat persons who need in the airplane a belt extension, and has always the mouth open and is always criticizing. And then I said, and what is the other part, the nurturing pen? Oh, that is like some woman from Biafra, which is barely able to speak out or to think because of she is so hungry. And then this person tried to hear this critical parent, this fat person, and to say, okay, stop, and now I listen to the other. And so step by step she was able to get a little bit balanced, and this enhanced her life quality. So this model of ego states, of functional ego states, is very valuable for me.
So what lasting change do you think TA helps with in your clients? It's like, does it?
Well, you can imagine if they have more of this nurturing parent, they are more self-confident, they have more courage in their life, and they are more successful. So it sounds really easy right now,
yes.
And it but it is like this. Just there is a way to go, steps to go to this result.
Yeah.
And usually it's not such a long way as therapy. I had a client, very old man, and he had a diagnosis, a lethal diagnosis, so he knew. He came and said, I know that I don't have to live much longer. And but I realized now, making my testament and everything, putting order in my affairs, that I'm not ready to die, and I will die because I have this diagnosis. So I have no time to go to a psychotherapist and make a long therapy. So I asked him, what do you want? And he said, I want to get rid of my anger, to get rid of my hatred, and I want to find peace in order to be able to die. So we had just a short period to look at them, and then I said, but tell me a little bit, what is the anger, what is the hatred? And he said, I have been misused my whole youth, and I was placed in a family, or at a farm where I had to work very much, and it was awful, and they abused me and they beat me up, and it was horrible, and I hate this person even if he's dead now, or the whole family. And then I thought, what can I do with him? And he presented himself like as the in the drama triangle. He wanted me to rescue him, and he was the victim, yes. And then I said, well, you seem to feel very much like a victim. He said, yes, but he is the persecutor. And I said, okay, so what can we do? And then he said, he talked about his life, what he achieved in his life, and he said that his hobby was to fly without a motor, you know, gliding. So I said, oh, that's wonderful. Let's go up in the air and glide and look down at this young person who is so misused. And then he made this in his fantasy.
Yeah, lovely.
And he said, oh, I see this boy. And that's a wonderful boy, because he had a dog and he could tell all what he wanted to tell to this dog, and this was his friend.
Yeah.
And I start, when he made this fantasy, I start to see this little boy like a little bit as my friend. And so he developed love for this young boy.
Yeah.
And developing this love and letting it be greater and greater and greater, I asked him, and what about your aggression now? And he said, well, it's not so important anymore. I can leave that. And I have found my friend, my inner friend, my boy now. And that's a little bit of the way we can work in counseling, because we don't go into the past, but we look it from the outside with our adult, and that can change perspective, and that is a wonderful thing. I think. And in the meantime, that are what you said before, the resources. So the plane was a resource for him, and the dog was a resource for him, and so he could grow this love for himself. And then he said, now I'm ready to die, and I'm ready to live as long as it lasts. And that's a wonderful story, isn't it?
Lovely, lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's lovely. Thank you very much. We'll end there.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.